Alright, so when it comes to gaming laptops, ASUS has basically two lineups. It's either the TUF Gaming lineup or the ROG lineup. Now, TUF is generally considered for your budget gamers, while ROG is considered for your premium gamers. However, this thing right here, well, this changes everything. This is the all-new ASUS TUF Gaming F15 laptop. Now, while ASUS has launched both the AMD and Intel variants of it, the AMD version will be available for purchase later on. However, we have with us the Intel flavor, the 12th gen powerhouse. And honestly speaking, unless you are super hellbent on burning your cash, I would any day recommend this over any ROG product. I mean, seriously, having used this, I feel there is no need for any user to spend on ROG, well, unless they're really looking to go for those flashy lights or burning money. Now, why do I say that? Well, this is one from GTR and you're watching my in-depth review of the ASUS TUF Gaming F15 2022 edition. Let's get started. Alright, so first things first, let's start by talking about the design here. Now you get a premium plastic build with a solid aluminum lid, and honestly speaking, it's as good as it gets. See, what I like the most about this is that it does not scream like, hey, look at me, I'm a gaming laptop. No, it's minimalistic, still looks premium, is definitely built very well thanks to its military grade rating, and yeah, it just looks very good. Also, compared to the previous F15 that we reviewed earlier, this one is about 4.5% smaller in footprint and also offers an 80% screen to body ratio. The laptop is also quite lightweight at 2.2 kgs for a device with this much horsepower. Now, it's not exactly portable though, and why do I say that? Is something that you will find out at the end of this video, so make sure that you watch the entire thing. Now, in terms of I/O, the ASUS TUF F15 has pretty much everything you would want and then some. On the left side, you have the parallel charging plug, followed by an RJ45 LAN port, a full-size HDMI port, a Thunderbolt 4 port, a USB-C 3.2 Gen 1 port, a USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port, and a 3.5 headphone jack. Over to the right side, you get a Kensington lock and another USB 3.2 Gen 1 port. And the only thing I can complain about that's missing from this laptop is, well, maybe an SD card reader. Having that would have made this a complete package, but even then, the laptop has you covered on pretty much every front out there. Also, the fact that it comes with Thunderbolt 4 port means expansion is not going to be an issue with this thing. Now, I did talk about having an SD card reader, right? The reason for that is this isn't just a gaming laptop. This is one of those rare gaming laptops that you can actually go ahead and buy if you're a content creator. So our unit here comes equipped with a 15.6-inch Full HD IPS panel with a whopping 300Hz refresh rate and support for 100% sRGB coverage. Now there's a higher variant as well that comes with Quad HD resolution with a 165Hz refresh rate and 100% DCI-P3 coverage, which I am sure would be ideal for content creators, but honestly 100% sRGB on this thing is pretty good too. I mean, the way I see it, this product is made for primarily gaming and then content creation on the side, and that product will be made primarily for content creation and then gaming on the side. So make a pick based on your preferences. For me, this one right here fits my bill perfectly. The panel here still comes color calibrated out of the box and the content looks stunning on it. There's no backlight bleed here and the viewing angles are also pretty good. Of course, this is a gaming laptop and the 300Hz refresh rate is just bonkers. It's genuinely a delight to use, especially if you're into esports titles. And I'll talk about that in detail in the performance section, but as far as the display is concerned, there's hardly any input lag here that would affect your gaming performance. Also, the panel switches between 300Hz and 60Hz based on your power profile. So there's no in between, and that's hardly a point of concern. Now, adding on to the display part, we have the audio department and you get stereo setup here, bottom firing speakers with Dolby Atmos support. And no, it's not a Dolby trial or something or just a link to purchase Dolby. No, it's the complete package. It's literally the full Dolby Access that's specifically tuned for ASUS TUF laptops. And the amount of control it offers over your sound profile is amazing. As for the actual audio output, it does get loud enough for your normal content consumption, but I do wish the overall output was a tad bit louder. The good part here, however, is that even at max volume, there is no loss in quality. So, well, that is good. Of course, if you're a gamer, you'll be better off using a good pair of headphones anyway, because the fans will kick in, and once again, I'll be talking about that in the thermal department. Alright, so moving along, we have this lovely keyboard here. And okay, let me just set things right. For premium gaming laptops, my allegiance lies with MSI and their SteelSeries keyboards. For laptops in this segment, I usually prefer Lenovo's lineup because they offer the same keyboard that's available on the ThinkPad lineup into their gaming series. However, I would be lying if I said that this keyboard is not a good keyboard or if it does not come close. There's just one very slight problem here which I have on a personal level. See, the layout here is great. The RGB backlighting is great, the keys are well spaced out, and the layout is very easy to adapt to. It's just that the feedback here is very soft, to the point where you feel like you're pressing a cushion and not a key. Now, I know some folks out there might enjoy having a soft feedback, but for me personally, I definitely need a tactile feedback on my keyboard. So yeah, while the keyboard here is great for gaming sessions, it's not ideal for typing as far as my use case scenario. Of course, all of this differs from person to person, so if you are someone who likes a soft feedback keyboard, this is about as good as it gets. Now below the keyboard, we have the touchpad, and while I do feel that the touchpad could have been a bit bigger considering the chassis, I think I'm happy with this one too, so long as ASUS has managed to deliver a proper touchpad. Like, for real, if there's one brand that I genuinely hate for their touchpads, it's ASUS. Their touchpads have been so buggy that, almost every ASUS laptop that I've reviewed, I've had a negative thing to say about their touchpads. Now, your mileage still might vary, but at least on my review unit here, the touchpad here works flawlessly. Gestures work fine, the palm rejection works very well, no ghost touches, everything works very well, at least on my unit. But of course, with all the history that I've had with ASUS laptops, I still don't feel super confident in recommending or basically saying that, okay, your laptop will also have the greatest touchpad experience. But yeah, at least with me, on my unit, the touchpad experience is, well, pretty good. So this is the webcam here, and as far as the overall camera quality is concerned, it's really good. Considering that obviously we are shooting in my studio setup, the colors, the face structure is definitely on point. There's no issues in that front. That being said, there is a bit of graininess, as you can notice. There's a evident lack of detailing here, so there's that. But yeah, I'm not going to say that the webcam is just for your average video calls. Even if you're a gamer who just wants to use this webcam as their streaming window, go for it. It should suffice as long as you have good lighting conditions. All right, now the part that you've all been waiting for, the performance. Let's get into it. So our unit here comes equipped with an Intel Alder Lake 12th Gen i7-12700H processor, coupled with an Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060 laptop GPU with 6GB VRAM. It's a 115 watt TDP GPU with 25 watts of dynamic boost. There's 16GB of DDR5 RAM clocked at 4800 MHz, and there's a PCIe 3 NVMe SSD from Samsung on board. Now, a quick word about that storage part. The laptop does support PCIe 4.0 storage. However, this is a tough laptop and ASUS will definitely look to cut some corners somewhere so as to bring the price down, which is why they've included a PCIe 3 SSD. Now, nonetheless, as you can see from the benchmarks on your screen, the performance is still amazing. However, if you want, you can easily upgrade the storage as well. Personally, I do not mind this because the storage works very well, and cutting corners here allows ASUS to focus on more important parts, which is the i7 processor and the new DDR5 RAM. Okay, so let's quickly talk numbers here. In synthetic benchmarks, the ASUS TUF F15 absolutely trashes the tests with some of the best numbers that we've seen from a laptop in this segment. The 12th gen Intel processors are one of the most improved processors in recent times, and couple that with Nvidia's RTX 3060 GPU and you have a solid machine in your hands. Moving on to gaming benchmarks, the laptop has no issues maintaining over 60 FPS on AAA titles that are set to high settings. Now, some titles like Cyberpunk 2077 do require you to lower a couple of settings to medium, but the experience is still top-notch. Of course, the 300Hz refresh rate is well aided by esports titles like Valorant and Rocket League, and the experience there is just next level. Now, the frames do dip around the 260 mark at times, especially in Valorant when you perform those quick flicks, but for the most part, the game runs around the 300 FPS mark, allowing the user to take full advantage of the high refresh rate. Now, ASUS also offers the MUX switch here, the purpose of which is to eliminate the delay in processing time. Honestly, even ASUS claims that the difference is merely 5 to 10%, and in our testing it was mostly negligible, so I'm not going to focus much on that. Now digging inside, we have the 5 heat pipe setup from ASUS that performs really well. In my testing, the peak temps were around the 96-degree range, which is after 1 hour of continuous Cinebench testing. Even so, there was no throttling observed, which is pretty good. Of course, that is under stress testing. Under realistic loads, you should expect temperatures in the range of 80 to 85 degrees, which again is pretty good. Now, while we are on the topic of internals, the TUF F15 is also ridiculously easy to upgrade thanks to its spring-loaded screws. You get 2 PCIe 4 NVMe slots with one of them preoccupied. The RAM can also be upgraded, though both the slots are currently occupied for dual channel performance. Alright, so next up we have the battery segment, and that is where I have the biggest complaint. See, as far as the battery backup is concerned, I wasn't expecting anything great out of this considering the kind of horsepower it packs in, and in my testing, the laptop averaged about 3 to 3.5 hours of backup, which is fine. I mean, no complaints whatsoever considering the overall package. What I do have a complaint with is the charger. What is this? I mean, I understand that you have power, but this is a 16 ampere point. I hate it. I genuinely hate it. I mean, the obvious alternative to this would have been having 2 6 ampere plugs, and personally, I would have been fine with it. It's much easier to find 2 5-year plugs in the same room at the same location as compared to having 2 or even a single power plug point. I mean, I literally had to rearrange stuff in my room just so that I could plug this thing onto my desk, and honestly, it's just a big hassle. And that basically affects the portability factor like I talked about. The laptop is lightweight. You can easily carry it around. You can even use it on your lap. But because of this restriction, you'll be restricted in, well, where you are sitting. And that is, well, a big con for me personally. Now, if you're looking to buy this as a desktop replacement, sure, things would be fine. But as a laptop, this single thing affects the portability by a massive margin. So this brings us to the verdict. Is the ASUS TUF F15 worth it? Well, the F15 comes at a starting price tag of Rs 1.15 lakhs, and that is a definite price bump compared to the 2021 variant. However, you have to keep in mind that these are newer components, and not just the processor, but there's a whole new generation of RAM that you're using. So of course, prices will be increased. And honestly speaking, the TUF F15 gets an easy recommendation from us. The only question that remains now is whether you should buy the F15 or you should wait for the A15 that comes with the AMD variant, is priced about 5 grand cheaper than this, misses out on the Thunderbolt port, and will be available for purchase here in India starting later in April. Well, the answer to that question lies in the subscribe button. Just subscribe to our channel and you'll be notified for whenever that review or maybe even the comparison for that laptop goes live on our channel. As far as the F15 is concerned, pretty good. And well, that was it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is one from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.